John Larkin is the president and founder of Larkin Trade International, a trade consultancy focused on export controls compliance and due diligence. Before founding LTI, John had a long career in the U.S. government, serving in the Marines, as a special agent for U.S. Customs, and as a commercial officer in China. He stopped by the U.S.-China Business Council for an event on export controls this week and took a moment to speak with us.
So the focus of my talk today was based on my experience really going back to the U.S. Embassy days and being an enforcement officer for the Commerce Department and then a consultant over the last 15 plus years dealing with China and technology transfers. My experience from even going back to being an agent and being the export control officer in China was that we always had concerns that China was stealing our IP from U.S. companies, that they were having forced technology transfers. During the post-WTO accession period, maybe from 2002 to 2007, that was kind of not paid attention to in a great deal till thinking that China would eventually come around and have less IP concerns as they developed their own IP. As things progressed over the years, though, it seemed like the market barriers that were being put in place to cause these technology transfers, continuing IP theft and trade secret theft, increased. That really became even more apparent over the years, probably from 2012 to 2016. And it became implemented in policy for China, public policy in Made in China 2025. And I think at that point, when it became out so blatantly of what the goal was, and then this huge funding mechanism behind the Made in China 2025 program, I think it forced the US government to have a reaction in both policy and writing. So in the days that I was the export control officer, and in the majority of time up until about 2012, 2014 even, our focus was, let's have export controls focus on promoting high-tech trade in civil areas, as long as it was compliant and it wasn't against U.S. national security, with the main focus that it would not be enhancing China's military capabilities. So we used to address that issue by having an extensive compliance program, doing customer screenings and due diligence reports, and making sure what U.S. and Chinese companies were cooperating on and working on were for civil promotion and not having a military enhancement, especially either directly or indirectly. Over the last few years, that has moved to covering not just China's military capabilities, but their economic capabilities. And that focuses on the Made in China 2025 area. So for us, that mainly is the semiconductor area, which includes semiconductor equipment, IC chip design, Internet of Things, robotics, all the IT telecom, 5G being a poster child of all of this, aerospace, new materials, things of that nature, which are of dual use, controlled items that may or may not require license to China. And as we've seen the US, working with the US government over the last few years, we've seen a great hesitation by the US government to approve any technology that would enhance Chinese capabilities to compete with us in those areas or to catch up and even try to surpass us in those civil commercial areas. And what that has caused for us is that even through compliance and the use of due diligence and customer screening, that the US government still will not allow that kind of technology transfer if it's going to basically create a competitor or undermine our market share, market status in those areas.